My Aunt Lori is the oldest, and she's my mom's sister, and she is 41.
Chocolate? For real?
My Aunt Lori is handicapped. She can't talk. When she does communicate, she uses her eyes. When she moves them up, that means yes. When she moves them side to side or moves her head, that means no. Want to go back to your room and get a blanket? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
I was 25 when Patrick was born. I would say within 15 to 20 months is when I started to notice that he wasn't talking like Evan did.
My earliest memory of Patrick was when my mom first brought him home after he was born, and in his new clothes, his new carriage, whatnot. That was just like my earliest recollection, is like around when he was being born, just because it was just a big change in my life.
He would crawl up to VCRs and eject or actually open the little window and look in there. That he wanted to know more how things worked rather than playing with typical toys. Yeah. Those kinds of things were like the first signs. Yeah. Patrick was diagnosed with infantile autism at 3 years old. There's 4 categories for diagnosing that they look at, different traits in each one of those categories. And he had a significant amount of those traits, which is why he got the diagnosis of infantile autism.
My brother's name is, well, he goes by many different names. His name is Richard Sadler, but he goes by Ricky, and he goes by Rich, and he goes by Rick, and just however he's feeling that week or that month. So a lot of people know him by a bunch of different names. Yeah. My parents weren't sure if it was caused by lead poisoning when he was younger, or he was really sick when he was younger and he had a fever that might have caused brain damage. So the doctors couldn't figure it out, and so it happened when he was a baby. So they weren't sure what caused it, but it's a mental disorder.
Mom! No! Not at all! Mom!
It's like abuse.
Here. Anna, cool! Ready, set, throw! Well, we're both kind of old-fashioned. We both love like Little House on the Prairie, so we talk about stuff like that. Sometimes we play kind of pranks on people. She decides the pranks and I do them for her. Who's your favorite character? I'll name him and you say, Mr. Edwards? Yeah. Yeah, he's your favorite.
In purple.
That's a cool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think it's blue.
You're right, it is blue.
I would say probably what he does best is just he's joyful. Like every day on the way to school, he laughs.
Come down a little farther.
He really doesn't have bad days, even when he has a fever. He never complains. I have to get out of him what's wrong.
Patrick's favorite thing to do would definitely be spending time with animals. He loves animals, and he loves being on the computer and just researching Disney movies. If you ask him any Disney character, any movie, he'll tell you the character and the year the movie was made.
I think he shows us, at least shows me, how to live and how to be, because he's non-judgmental. He's not prejudiced against people. He doesn't look at people and see what we typically see. I think that he's been given the gift of innocence and like a spirit of peace and happiness.
For me, I was the protector. I was very leery of anyone that came around him, just because they can be very easily taken advantage of. I was very, very cautious growing up when my family would meet somebody, especially Rick at work, around the neighborhood. They did a lot of picking. I mean, a lot of name calling and all that stuff all the time. So I was constantly, getting in fights in the neighborhood just because of that. But then when he started working in the work environment, it was bad, and it's still to this day it's tough for him. My brother is kind of an autistic type. He knows everything about movies and everything about music, and when I say everything, I mean everything. And he collects albums and DVDs, and I mean he still has all of his VCR tapes, and just on and on and on. And so when he meets somebody, he starts trading with these people. And these people will be like, oh, well, I got this CD and I'll trade you for 5 of yours. And just so he can make a friend, he'll do it, because he just wants to have friends.
The waitresses just aren't as nice as they normally are when she's not around. They kind of give her dirty looks and stuff. Like, they don't say, hi, how you doing? Like they would when we're not with her. They don't smile or anything. Maybe because they think that she's different. Whenever I was about 5 and I went to see Aunt Lori, I didn't really like it because I thought that some of the people there, because they can't help themselves when they yell or do stuff, I didn't really like to go see her because I didn't have the type bond I do with her now. I thought that it was boring to go see her because I got I got scared around people like that. But I know that they're just another human being and they want to be treated the fairly way as we get treated.
I think people stare because they're not sure what else to do. They don't know if they should say something, or if maybe they're just trying to figure out what the person's doing, or maybe some people are staring because they do have a family member that might not live close, and they're thinking, oh, I understand that. I mean, for various reasons, and it doesn't have to be a mean stare. Sometimes kids just stare, and that's just the innocence of trying to figure out what is this person doing. Everybody knows somebody that is, has a special need or a family member, and being around those families, embracing it and just approaching, it's better to approach them and let them know you're interested and that you would like to be a part of it and try to understand, is better than just watching from afar and thinking, oh, I don't know how they'll react, because the unknown is always the scariest, and once you get through that layer, then it's that relationship building, and those people would love to have relationships too. That's a lot of the biggest issues with them is they don't know how to.
Don't judge him by the way that he the way he acts or the way he looks. Don't judge, because his heart is I mean, it's huge. It's huge. He'll do anything for anyone, and sometimes he doesn't always take care of himself, and sometimes he likes to wear the same pair of pants every day, or the same, I mean, he goes through spurts like that where he doesn't want to shave, or what I mean. So but you can't judge him on that, because he's not he's not thinking like that. He's just he's got the biggest heart, and he'll do anything for anybody at any time. And so I just want people to see him for see past any exterior, and the interior is awesome.
I just want people to understand that just because people on the outside are different doesn't mean that they are on the inside different. But people seem to be very, what's the word? Hard to convince.
In general, the people that are closest to him appreciate him and his simplicity, but really life is simple, and if you just love people for who they are and right where they're at, which is what he does, then we could all do so much better.
Whenever I've been down in my life or just been going through a hard time, my brother's always had a smile on his face, and he's just always been an encouragement in my life, and I couldn't ask for anything else than for him to be my brother.
It's a gift. It is. It's a pleasure. I mean, it is. It's something that it's an honor. It's an honor to be able to take care of. I mean, how many people can take care of their big brother? Everybody else can take care of their little brothers, but me, I get to take care of my big brother. So it's cool. I enjoy it, definitely. And yeah, when I see him, I mean, I mean, he does the same thing. He makes you feel like you're $1 million. So I love that.
If somebody wants to love or treat somebody the same way and they really want to with special needs, they would just do it and try, and they'd probably get through it like that.